Listen more often to things than to beings. Listen more often to things than to beings. 'Tis the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. 'Tis ancestors' breath in the voice of the waters.
Good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Society. We are grateful to gather for a time of inspiration, reflection, and connection this morning. Whether you join us with joy in your heart, weighted with burdens, or searching for meaningful connections, we are glad that you are here. I'm Reverend Diana Smith. My pronouns are she and her. I am a somewhat tall, white woman with short, curly white and brown hair, a blue blouse, and a very colorful, multi-directional, abstract stole standing in UUS's pulpit in the front of our sanctuary. This room and the adjoining Religious Education Commons are filling with people of all ages despite our rainy, stormy weather and spring break, and it is such a delight to see you this morning. Through the window walls of our sanctuary, we connect with the natural world around us. And as we gather, we give thanks for this land and all who've cared for it over the centuries, particularly the Kickapoo, the Iowa, the Sauk, the Meskwaki, and the Oceti-Sakowin nations. As people of many ages, genders, races, sexual orientations, classes, abilities, and health statuses, we know how important it is to come together and work together to create a radically welcoming spiritual community. Today, despite the illness that seems to be running through this area, I am grateful to be leading this service with some wonderful people. If you notice that things are a little bit different, it's because I found out this morning that Xinghui Liu, our pianist, and Andrew Bryant, our music director, are both out sick, as is Victoria Hewitt, our membership coordinator. So we have had wonderful people jump in to fill those roles. Many thanks to Rob Easley, who led us in our gathering song and will lead us a little bit later in another song. And to the AV people who've jumped in and the membership associates who've jumped in. And it is so wonderful to be part of this community where we make things happen, whatever the circumstances. As Unitarian Universalists, our faith expresses our core value of love through how we agree to be together and to support each other. We're guided by the shared principles, sources, and values of our living religious tradition. This morning, as we explore Jewish and Muslim mysticism, we'll celebrate and explore our value of transformation. If doing something with your hands helps you, we invite you to visit the soul work table outside the sanctuary doors to pick up something to work with. And if you're newer to this congregation, we invite you to learn more about us after the service by talking with a greeter or by filling out a visitor form in our YouTube show notes, which will help us connect with you. And now our call to worship comes from Jalaluddin Rumi, who wrote, "The one who's unveiled the mystery of love." Sorry, let me start again. "The one to whose unveiled the mystery of love exists no longer, but is annihilated in love. Place before the sun a burning candle. See how its shining disappears before those lights. The candle exists no longer, is transfigured into light. There are no more signs of it. It itself becomes a sign." And now I invite you to join in singing hymn number 15, Lone Wild Bird. You'll see a video with words appearing on our screens, and I hope you'll join in singing. It's a little different this morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Andrea, and I use she, they pronouns. I'm a Black woman in their late 20s, wearing a blue top with white flowers, a navy vest, and blue jeans. As Unitarian Universalists, we light a flame within a chalice as a symbol of sanctuary, safety, and hope to unite us in our worship and to remind us of our ongoing search for the light of truth. Please join me in saying our chalice words as Liana lights our chalice. Life is a gift for which we are grateful. We gather in community to celebrate the wonder and mystery of this great gift. So let us now kindle the flame of our liberal religious heritage and renew our covenant of mutual love and care. Love is our doctrine, the quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, and to serve those in need. This we promise, this we covenant with life and one another. We also light a candle for justice and healing as a reminder of our interdependence with Earth and with all members of the global community, especially the most vulnerable. We light this candle so that we may not be numb to injustice and trauma, but rather find strength, courage, and love as we work in solidarity with others for liberation, justice, and healing. Together, we create resilience and hope. Today, as we light this candle, we're particularly mindful of the wars breaking out across the world and the suffering they bring. May this light remind us of our shared humanity and inspire us to act with compassion, courage, and solidarity for those whose lives are disrupted by violence and oppression. We hold the hope that even amid turmoil, healing and justice are possible. As I light this candle, let's hold a time of silence to listen to our hearts and bodies, or perhaps lift up prayers.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nick Kaplan. My pronouns are they, them. I'm the Grateful Director of Lifespan Religious Education here at UUS, and I asked for Christine to not advance the slide just yet. So if you're online or here and looking at that going, we're done with the candle. Why is there not the next slide? I asked for this. I need some helpers. I have a box here, and inside this box, there is an animal. It's just a stuffed animal. Don't worry. It's just a stuffed animal. But I want to give some volunteers the opportunity to reach their hand in, feel it one time. Once, one time, and then give a guess as to what the animal is. Yeah, come on up, make a line. All right, so how many times are we gonna feel this stuffed animal? Once. Does that mean I'm gonna go like this and feel all around in the box? Oh, I'm gonna stick my hand in, feel the animal, and bring my hand out, and then guess. Got it? Okay. So which side of the box do you want to put your hand into? That one? Okay, feel it one time. And then do you want to make your guess into the microphone? Or do you want to tell me and I'll say it into the microphone? You want to tell me? Okay. Is it a fox? Ooh, good guess. Thank you. Fifi, you want to try? You want to guess the animal? Put your hand in there. Don't look. Just your hand. Just your hand. All the way in. It's way down at the bottom. Nope. Yeah, that's too much. Thanks for trying. Do you want to guess anyway? Do you want to guess the animal? A bear. Ooh, good guess. All right. Reach in. Do you want to guess into the microphone?
Jet pig.
Ooh, jet pig. That's a good guess here at UUS, huh? Let's feel into this side now. It's the same animal. What do you think?
Elephant.
Ooh, good guess. Which side do you want to feel into? All right. Do you want to guess into the mic?
A cow.
A cow. Lots of mammals. I like that face. You want to guess into the mic?
A bear.
A bear. Ooh, 2 guesses for a bear. Victoria, do you want to come guess? No? That's okay. Do any of the adults want to come guess? I didn't say it had to be kids. Okay. Oh, thank you, Edie. And Sarah, were you coming to guess too? All right, which side do you want? Do you want the microphone or do you want to tell me?
I think it's a cat.
A cat. Sticking with the mammals.
Furry, it has ears. A bunny.
Furry and with ears, a bunny. Great guesses, everyone. I am going to get to that. I'm going to switch to the other microphone, though, so I can have both hands to open up my box. All right? All right. And I'm a little bit shorter than Reverend Diana and the average people, so I have my step stool. We ready? Lots of mammals. And I promise you, just because he's my kid, he did not know that I did this. I know that seems a little rigged, and promise you, he did not know what I did this morning. All right, we can have the next slide now. Thank you, Christine. Our story is The Elephant in the Dark. You didn't, that's why I didn't ask for the slide, because I thought some of you readers might put 2 and 2 together. In a distant kingdom, a wise king brought a rare and majestic elephant from the east. A creature so vast, so wondrous, that few had ever seen anything like it. To share its beauty with the people, the king placed the elephant in a grand hall. It would have to be a pretty big hall to hold an elephant, right? But curiously, the hall was completely dark. The people came in groups, curious and excited, kind of like all the kids came up at the beginning, like, I want to guess, right? They came in groups, curious and excited, but since they could not see, each person began feeling the elephant in the dark. One touched its trunk and insisted. They cried out, "Ah, the elephant is like a giant snake." Another touched its leg. No, it's like a solid pillar or a tree." A third touched the ear and laughed. "You're both wrong. It's a great leather fan." The one who touched the belly came up and touched the side of the elephant, said, "Fools!" Not nice to call names, right? But said, "Fools! It's a wall." Each was right and wrong. They fought, they argued, and they grew frustrated. None realized that they were only touching part of the truth. And the truth, like the elephant, was far greater than what their hands could grasp in the dark. From this story, we have Rumi's wisdom. The eye of the senses is like the palm of the hand. It can't grasp the whole. To see the truth, you must open the light of your heart. We are all seekers. Some call the divine Allah, others God, Ishwar, Yahweh, love, truth. We each touch part of the infinite and think we've seen it all. But Rumi whispers gently across time. Let's stop arguing in the dark. Let us light the candle of love and walk together toward the greater truth that includes us all. So, can the elephant live here for service? Okay, won't be in your way. Glad to hear that. I don't know how we're doing this. With the lantern ritual without Xinghui and Andrew, or Rob and Benjamin. Okay, just Rob, not Rob and Benjamin? Okay. Checking in.
We're going to do it a cappella.
Fantastic. The congregation knows this song quite well. Each week when our children and youth and teachers head to classes, the children light a lantern as a symbol of love and hope that goes with them as they explore our faith together. Children, youth, and teachers, please come forward as Judy lights our lantern from our chalice, and we will join Rob in singing Be Open as we head to religious education.
You guys get the words, so no stress. Be open for something wonderful to happen. Be open to the possibility. Be open for something wonderful to happen. Be open to the possibility. Aye, 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 aye,
You sound wonderful. Thank you. Our first reading is the unfolding tefillah, the unfolding prayer. When praying, move gradually. Do not exhaust all of your strength at the outset. Rather, begin slowly. And in the midst of your prayer, cleave to God with greater intensity. Then you will even be able to recite the words of the prayer very quickly without losing your focus. While you may be unable to connect with God at the beginning of the prayer, Continue to recite your words with attention and focus. Strengthen yourself step by step until God helps you pray more intensely.
Our next reading is entitled, How Did the Rose? How did the rose ever open its heart and give to this world all of its beauty? It felt encouragement of light against its being, otherwise we all remain too frightened. Hello again. Our congregation is made up of many people and of many communities. We gather in many ways to learn, sing, laugh, share meals, try new things, and help repair our world. Together, we create a community that nurtures us all as we seek to live love more fully and fiercely into this world. This morning, Karen is here to share about how connecting with UUS through UUS Mystics has been impactful. Karen?
Boy, better. Hi, I'm Karen Jensen. I'm a professional artist and a grateful believer in the warmth, welcome, and openness here at UUS. From the beginning of my life, I've experienced the oneness that surrounds us and dwells within us. My earliest experiences were with the natural world, which held mystery, magic, and life for me. Feeling the breath of the world shaped my path as an artist, fueling a passionate desire to express beauty and wholeness through my work. When I first read about the Mystics group here at UUS in your newsletter, I was curious and excited to find a community that actively invites others to explore the mystery. At my first gathering, I felt a kinship and a sense of connection to something larger that I'd never experienced in a group setting before. These were my people. Since then, we've delved into a wide range of realms, from healing and the questions of life and death to what lies beyond the veil. Whether through guest speakers, experiential practices, or sharing our own stories, I simply love being in this place. We revere all life, both interior and exterior, knowing that we are a part of it all and that everything belongs. We listen. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know. Be still. Be.
Thank you so much, Karen. That was really beautiful. I appreciate it. Lately, it has been hard to turn on the news without hearing about war. Escalating conflict involving the United States and Iran, the ongoing war in Ukraine, the devastation in Gaza and across Palestine, violence in Sudan, and civil war in Myanmar. Across the world, people are losing their lives. Parents, children, neighbors, elders, entire communities are living under the shadows of bombs, displacement, and fear. And when we step back from the headlines, a haunting question emerges. For what? For power, for political dominance, for resources, for money. The loss of human life on this scale should never become normal to us, because behind every headline is a human story. a family that will never be the same, a community grieving someone they love, saying goodbye to their normal. It can feel overwhelming to witness so much suffering in the world at once. But I think part of our responsibility is to refuse indifference, refuse the quiet acceptance that war is simply the way the world works. There's another question that often sits in the background of these movements. Why is there always money for war? Why is there always money for bombs, drones, and military escalation? Yet, when communities ask for health care, we are told resources are limited. When people call for clean air and water, we hear that change is too expensive. When teachers ask for well-funded public schools, we're told that budgets are tight. When families ask for stronger social safety nets, we hear that we simply cannot afford it. But somehow there's always money for war. This contradiction reveals something about our society's priorities. It forces us to ask, what kind of world are we choosing to build? A world organized around domination and militarization, or a world organized around care, dignity, and the flourishing of human life? So perhaps the invitation of this moment is not only to grieve the lives being lost across the globe, but also imagine something different. We may not control the decisions of governments or the machinery of war, although we could definitely apply pressure for sure. But we can refuse to accept that violence is inevitable. We can keep asking hard questions about the world we are creating. We can keep choosing compassion in a time when compassion is urgently needed. May we hold in our hearts all those living through conflict and violence. May we refuse to become numb to their suffering. May we continue the sacred work of imagining and building a more peaceful world.
As we enter into our time of meditation, contemplation, and prayer, I invite you to remember the words of the Hasidic masters earlier. When praying, begin slowly. And in the midst of prayer, you may be able to cleave to the divine more closely. While you may be unable to connect with the divine at the beginning of prayer or meditation, continue in the practice, and you may get there. And so I invite you to place your feet on the floor if you can, and breathe with me as we each find a centered place in our bodies, in this room, in this sacred space. And that applies to you wherever you are, for all the world is sacred. As you take a breath in, fill your belly and then your lungs. And as you breathe out, let your lungs exhale and breathe out until your belly is empty of air. As you breathe into your belly again, breathe in your connection to this place, this earth. As you breathe out, let your cares and stress seep out of your body to be held by the earth and this community. Breathe in deeply and out slowly a few more times as we join together in silence.
Art thou troubled? Music will calm thee. Art thou weary? Rest shall be thine. Rest shall be thine. Music, source of all gladness, heals thy sadness at her shrine. Music, music ever divine.
Amen. A man standing on two logs in a river might do all right floating with the current while humming in the now. Though if one log is tied to a camel, who is also headed south along the bank at the same pace, all could still be well with the world, unless the camel thinks he forgot something and abruptly turns upstream, then, uh-oh. Most minds do not live in the present and can stick to a reasonable plan. Most minds abruptly turn and undermine the chance of humming.
Our next reading is entitled Removing the Veil. Use the words you utter in prayer as tools to break through the partition that separates you from the divine until you're able to cleave to God. Know that each and every letter of the alphabet comes from an open and endless world above, and every letter that leaves your mouth in prayer awakens these worlds. Therefore, utter the words of your prayer with passion, joy, and feeling of intimacy with the divine.
A couple weeks ago, I spent some time talking with y'all about attention and awareness, the things that bring us into the present. Mysticism, which we're talking about today and have been exploring through these readings and stories and music, is not that different. The goal in mysticism is to find unity with the divine in little moments, in little spaces across time and throughout our lives, and to deepen that experience. Sometimes we find that in nature. Sometimes we find it through the teachings of different traditions. In Jewish and Muslim mysticism, some primary motivations and goals are desire for unity with the divine and an experience or appreciation of the divine in every moment. The beautiful poetry of Rumi and Hafez, who some think of as love poetry. In there, love is about the divine, is about finding that beauty and overwhelming, all-encompassing sense of belonging, of depth, of presence. In both Jewish and Muslim mysticism, there is a belief a knowledge that ultimate reality, that the divine, is present with us all of the time. There's a stress on the importance in seeing differences as well as similarities, and a belief that our experience of separation from the divine is an illusion, because there is a divine spark within each and every one of us. The divine is not us, but there is a spark of the divine in each and every one of us. So we are divine. The beloved, the light, the beauty in Sufi mystical poetry is usually God. That love is within us, too. We must love ourselves and we must love everyone else because the divine is there. There's also a saying that God is as close as the neck vein. God is as close as right here. But God is not simply immanent, is not simply inside all of us. These are contradictions, and that is one of the things that Sufi mystics and the Jewish mystics thrive on. In Unitarian Universalism, we have our own versions of these, even if we are not a Jewish or Muslim mystic, a Sufi, a believer in the Kabbalah, or a general mystic. We have Emerson. In Ralph Waldo Emerson, you may remember the reading about a transparent eyeball. Is that ringing any bells? That the world is like, I didn't quote this in here, which I really should have, so that I could read it to you. But that the world is, it's like a transparent eyeball, becoming like a transparent eyeball where you see everything and are part of everything. And noticing, and Emerson brought us, as a transcendentalist, brought us into the idea that there is divinity everywhere. And that what we are looking for is that direct experience, that inspiration, that feeling, and that where our soul expands into the universe. We also have a liberal religious idea that there is a central ultimate reality, that we are each experiencing it in different ways, little prisms of the divine light through our different human experiences. And that those are the same, but they are also different. And we come to know more about the divine through both the similarities and the differences. We come to know the divine both in the thunder that is rumbling above our heads right now and in the soft fall of rain. There are different expressions, and each of those expressions, each of those gives us a different understanding through different kinds of words, but also through different cultural forms. And so there is a delight in understanding the different cultural forms that mysticism takes, whether you are somewhere in Asia, whether you are in the Middle East, whether you are in the US. As you also may have noticed through the poetry that Andrea and I have been reading, in mysticism, there is also a great value for prayer as a journey. In prayer, you can also call it meditation or contemplation if you would like. But in prayer, meditation, contemplation, we strip away layers of thought and ego to get to our essence and a sense of deeper unity. The purpose of prayer is to encounter the divine as fully and imminent and intimately as possible. This meeting does not happen instantly, but it takes time and care, writes a great scholar of this. It takes time and care like any great romantic relationship. That is part of where we get such wonderful romantic poetry from the mystics, because our meeting with the divine does not happen instantaneously, although it does happen instantaneously, but it is a process that we need to deepen into, like any romantic courtship. And so the Hasidic masters, amongst others, instruct us to be patient, as we heard in our first reading. We must be patient. We must gradually strip away our layers so that we can become closer. This also relates to a Kabbalistic belief that we can experience the divine by stripping down speech of prayer into its components. So you maybe have heard of some mystical practices where speech is lengthened and stripped down. We find different syllables or words, and we deepen into those as a practice. Because words, like all of the other human experiences, all of the other human symbols, can give us access to the divine. In a Jewish poem, Soul's Beloved, that was created in the Middle Ages, but is now widely used to keep the Sabbath, the first letter of each of the stanzas spell out the Hebrew word for God's name. The words mean beloved, glorious, ancient of days, and reveal yourself. And so, creating poetry where syllables create greater meaning and give us greater access can also be a tool for finding our way to the divine. Saying words that create some greater puzzle, some greater mystery, can help us explore like a puzzle. And if this is sounding a little bit like Buddhism or like Zen Buddhism or something like that, you're not wrong. We find similar types of practices in many different religions, which is something that is so wonderful, and they give us a clue to what helps different people strip away layers to find our access to the divine. So that was in Jewish mysticism. In Muslim mysticism, some of you may have heard of salat, which is a ritual practice and postures of prayer. In Islam, this is something that occurs 5 times a day at a minimum and involves thought, word, and action. During salat, you recite verses from the Quran, you recite prayers while doing postures that look a lot like yoga postures. And the salat postures actually spell out the Arabic word for Adam, the first created human and the first prophet in Islam. So, as we're creating these practices, we create a bigger prayer, a larger prayer, and as we do them with many other people, we create an even larger prayer, so that our community becomes a praying entity larger than each of us. Community is not God, but community is where we can experience God, both through the prayers that we say, through our interactions, through the ways we come to know ourselves and others, and through the ways that we create practices together that lead us to a greater, you could say, a greater magnification, a greater glorification of God. If that language doesn't work for you, you can also think about it as a greater way of unifying lots of human energy, lots of human spirits towards something greater, something that spells out a mystery and helps us remember history, remember the legacy of mystics, of prophets throughout time. And so I also want to tell you a little bit about Dhikrullah, the remembrance of God, which is a practice in Sufism. It's a central spiritual method. It involves repeating God's name and qualities aloud or silently. In Islam, God has many names and qualities, and the practice of saying these is beautiful and crucial. I didn't bring them into the sanctuary, but I have some color sheets that we used several years ago at a service here, and didn't use all of them, that have many of the 99 names of God on them. I will bring them out into the fellowship hall so you can look at some of them, because it is beautiful. And so, by repeating God's names and qualities aloud or silently, you move deeper into prayer and you come to know different aspects of God. The reason God has so many names is because there are so many ways of knowing God. Just as there are so many forms of mysticism, just as we have today been experiencing the natural aspect of mysticism, but also the Jewish and Muslim sides of mysticism. So Dhikrullah also includes music and mystical dance that evokes specific states And through the practice, a person understands at a deeper and a deeper level their inner being and their unity in God. Prayer, which we're talking about right now, in mysticism is very intentional. It may look wild and creative to some of us, but it is very, very intentional. And it uses a lot of creativity, a lot of symbols, where through those symbols, the imagery, and the words, we can find unexpected truths that help us see more deeply and find an inner realm of divine life. And this is part of why art has been such a crucial part of Muslim culture. This is part of why some of those sites that are being destroyed in Iran right now are so deeply held, because they are a way of experiencing God. So as we talk about the practice of prayer, one of the things that I hope you notice is that a practice means that a mystic, or anyone doing any kind of spiritual practice, never gets finished and never finds a static place. Even if you're saying the same prayer over and over again for years, every time you say it, you are deepening into it, and you are finding a new relationship to it. For Jewish and Muslim mystics, there's a Kabbalistic belief, for instance, that through properly fulfilling commandments, a person creates channels to the divine, where blessings flow through to the world. So by doing the practice over and over again, we actually create spaces for the world to become better. Through practices, we also become as close to the divine throughout the day as you are during prayer, so that you can maintain that even when everything goes crazy. We can also think of spiritual practices as a way of polishing the mirror of the heart, so that it can more accurately catch a glimpse of and reflect the divine or love. These practices are part of a spiritual journey and deepen our understanding and appreciation of the presence of transforming reality of the divine in all moments. And so finally, I want to leave you with a thought that innovating, experimenting, and cultivating creativity in our spiritual practices can help us as UUs in our free and responsible search for truth and meaning. And so I ask you, what are your practices for staying grounded and focused on interconnectedness, on cleaving to the divine, however you understand it? And so I'll leave you with these words from Rumi: the one to whose unveiled the mystery of love exists no longer, but is annihilated in love. Place before the sun a burning candle. See how its shining disappears before the light. The candle exists no longer, is transfigured into light. There are no more signs of it. It itself becomes a light. May we all, through our practices, lose our egos and become part of all, where we can love all. So may it be. Blessed be. Amen.
Could we go to the free lunch program one?
Oh, no evening star?
Really late.
Okay.
How we give and what we do with our lives is a reflection of our values. As we discern how abundance flows in different parts of our lives and communities, every week this congregation donates generously to organizations in the community whose work aligns with our values and principles. Cash and non-pledge offerings are shared between our community partner agencies and UUS, with 75% going to support our partners. Our community partner agency this month is Iowa City Free Lunch Program. They have been providing free and nutritious lunches to anyone who needs it since 1983. If you're writing a check, please specify your intent by writing either pledge or offering in the memo line. You may also give online or via text by following the instructions on the screen or by checking the donation button on our website. Sorry, not checking, clicking the donation button on our website. Your offerings are a sign of your commitment to this congregation, which is completely supported by the generosity of all who join us. As we give and receive the offering, may we be transformed by our giving, and may the world be transformed by our gifts. May what has been shared today help us more fully affirm our interconnection and live into love and justice. After the service, we gather in the fellowship hall, and I don't think we're going to be gathering outside today for conversation and community. If you're a newcomer, we hope you'll grab a snack and then sit at any table so folks can join you for some conversation. In addition to Covenant and Mind, want to also mention we're not going to have UUS singer rehearsal today because of our sick musicians, so that will not be happening today. But in addition to Covenant and Mind and Spirit groups this week, this coming Saturday, we hope you'll join us for viewing and discussion of documentary 13th at 1 p.m.
I'm sorry. Because I'm your mystical voice in the back from AV, we don't have slides for this. It's a video. The lyrics are not good on the video, so get your books, and it's number 328.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so hopefully you heard that, but apparently the words are going to be hard to see in the video. So, sing along, or if you have a hymnal, it's number 328. Rise in body or spirit, please.
I sought the wood in summer, when every tree was green. The lotus blossoms were tender, and buds were pink between. Like fingered aspens trembled in fitful sun and shade, and daffodils were golden in every starry glade. How frail a thing is beauty, I said when every breath she gives the vagrant summer, but swift arrows her death. For this the stardust travels, for this have ages rolled, to deck the wood for bridal and slay her with the cold. I saw the wood in winter, when every leaf was dead. Behind the wind-whipped branches, the winter sun was red. The birches white and slender in breathless marble stood. The brook, a white immortal, slept silent in the wood. How sure a thing is beauty, I cried, no bolt can slay, nor wave, nor shark despoiler, nor ravishers dismay. The granite hills are slighter, the sea more like to fail. Behind the rows of planet, the law behind the veil.
Please join me in the words for extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. All these we carry in our hearts and in our minds until we are together again.
Beloveds, as you go out into the world this day and this week, May you go in peace, love, and justice, living love ever more fully and fiercely into this world. Amen. Blessed, blessed be.
Since it's only 2 days before St. Patrick's Day, I thought I'd sing an Irish love song, a rare one with a happy ending. Are the words on the screen or not? Okay. Well, that's the chorus. And we'll practice the chorus. Ah-dee-doo, ah-dee-doo, da-day. Ah-dee-doo, ah-dee-doo, da-day. Ah-dee-doo, ah-dee-day. Ah-dee-doo, ah-dee-day. He whistled and he sang till the green woods rang, and he won the heart of a lady. He whistled and he sang till the green woods rang, and he won the heart of a lady. The whistling gypsy come over the hill, and down through the valley so shady. He whistled and he sang till the green woods rang, and he won the heart of a lady. Ah-dee-doo, ah-dee-doo, da-day. Ah-dee-doo, ah-dee-day. He whistled and he sang till the green woods rang, and he won the heart of a lady. She left her father's castle gate, she left her own fond lover, she left her servants and her estate to follow the gypsy rover. Ah-dee-doo, ah-dee-doo, da-day. Ah-dee-doo, ah-dee-day. He whistled and he sang till the green woods rang, and he won the heart of a lady. Her father saddled up his fastest steed, roamed the valleys all over, sought his daughter at great speed, and the whistling gypsy rover. Ah-dee-doo, ah-dee-doo, da-day. Ah-dee-doo, ah-dee-day. He whistled and he sang till the green woods rang, and he won the heart of a lady. He came at last to a mansion fine, down by the river Clady, and there was music and there was wine for the gypsy and his lady. Ah-dee-doo, ah-dee-doo, da-day. Ah-dee-doo, ah-dee-day. He whistled and he sang till the green woods rang, and he won the heart of a lady. He is no gypsy, my father, she said, but lord of these lands all over, and I will stay till my dying day with my whistling gypsy rover. Ah-dee-doo, ah-dee-doo, da-day. Ah-dee-doo, ah-dee-day. He whistled and he sang till the green woods rang, and he won the heart of a lady.
test, test. Test. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. ZYX WVUT. B, C, D, E, F. A, ZYX WVUT S